Hello, mis amores. How is your spirit today? Let's do our vibe check. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Use this moment to check in yourself, to check in your body and see how you're feeling. And let me know what comes up for you in the comments below. It's your girl, Yanari Pouncil. If we are meeting for the first time, I am the guiding light, the spiritual teacher, to intuitive leaders that are being the most authentic version of themselves, prioritizing their well being, trusting their inner voice, overflowing with inner peace, and enjoying their lives every single step of the way. And today, I am your mentor and your guide. What's up, babes? We're going to be talking about dealing with anger, resistance, and pessimism. And this is episode 14. 14. 14. Episode 14. Episode 14 of my 45-day series that I've been hosting here on my YouTube channel called The Path to Inner Peace. And the theme for this week we are focused on is okay to feel. It is okay to feel. It is okay to feel. Because when you know it's okay to feel, your path to inner peace, your path of inner peace is a lot more joyful. So who's going to get the most out of this episode today? So the people that are going to get the most out of this episode are going to be the intuitive leaders that are currently mastering the art of inner peace, that are mastering the ability to show up in their lives joyfully and powerfully, no matter what's going on, knowing that they are exactly what they've been praying to be, trusting that the unfolding of whatever's occurring is happening for their greatest good and the goodness of humanity. This is for those of us that are focused on being authentic, being fearless, being unapologetic about who we are in the world and the gifts that we share with other people. And we decided to go through this journey of life, enjoying it, loving it, appreciating it, learning from it, and feeling like it is truly a beautiful experience. So I wanted to talk about this because I remember what it was like for me before I began to deal with anger, deal with resistance, and pessimism. To be honest with you, as I'm sitting with this, because I'm challenging myself in this series to really pour my truth, really share the things that occurred that usually I will keep hiding or hidden. So before I began to deal with these emotions or deal with this, resistance is, I guess it can be considered an emotion. Before I began to deal with these things, I was team avoidance. And this comes as no surprise to y'all because as I've been telling you, your girl is good at avoiding. Avoid, 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 avoid. That is the way that I had learned to operate. That is the way that I had learned to move, is to avoid things like anger, avoid things like resistance, to avoid things like pessimism. And not avoid them as in avoid that they are our reality, avoid as in avoid how I show up to them. Pretend that I'm not experiencing, pretend that I'm not feeling those things. Pretend that those things are not happening to me. Here is the God. They are, and they were, and they continue to be. Excuse me. Get some water. Y'all know she be hydrated. So before I began to be intentional about the way I show up to these emotions, I was very much in avoidance mode about all of them. When it came to anger, I definitely did not want to give in to the energy of anger because I have had a bit of a temper in my life. Like it's something that my relationship with anger is had been so unhealthy that avoidance was the healthiest way for me to journey it. I did not really know how to be angry, and when I was angry, I would say very hurtful things, and at times I will regret them after the fact. I will come for you. I will come for you when I'm in that energy. And he wasn't feeling good. And when it came to resistance, there was a lot of resisting being uncomfortable, a lot of resisting having conversations that would lead to feeling uncomfortable, a lot of resisting of showing up powerfully because of how much people were going to think I was quote unquote being extra and doing the most, which I love to do the most. And it was a really difficult way for me to operate. And this is actually why I think this is so important for us, or why I know this is so important for us as leaders, especially intuitives, because we sometimes have learned to avoid certain emotions as the healthiest way to journey them. And things like anger, things like resistance, things like pessimism, they have such a huge impact on us and how we show up, not only to ourselves, to the people that we lead, whether it be in our clients, whether it be in the companies that we in, our employees, our children, our spouses, whatever it is that you're leading in your life right now. These emotions and how you show up to those emotions are going to really impact the quality of your relationships, the quality of your experience, and the quality of your inner peace. So it's very important that we're looking at these things, because I know what's on the other side of that. After I began to be intentional about how I show up to these emotions, I don't know if you could hear that. After I began to be intentional about how I show up to resistance, into anger, into pessimism, once I began to show up differently, things happened differently in my life, and I began to receive different things from those experiences. So I don't know if y'all could hear this in the background or not, but I am going to pause this video while this is going on. Okay, it appears to be over. Y'all not living for Lauderdale, and y'all also know I do not go in and edit these things extensively, because this is about us having an honest, real conversation, and shit is going to be happening in the background. That's just part of life. We all just are going to learn to be at peace with that. So here's what you're going to learn today, especially if you're desiring to... They doing too much. All right, it appears that we are in the clear. Here's what you're going to learn today. The first thing I'm going to share with you is the number one reason why dealing with feelings like anger, resistance, and pessimism specifically is a non-negotiable for me. Okay, it appears that they are complete. The first thing I'm going to share with you today is the number one reason why dealing with anger, resistance, and pessimism is a non-negotiable for me as an intuitive leader, and for every single intuitive leader that you know that's out here killing it, like Oprah, Steve Jobs, who's no longer with us, but he was a very, very intuitive being. These are the type of people that, like Tyler Perry, these are people that are literally out here crushing it, and they're trusting their inner voice. This is a non-negotiable for them. I'm going to share with you what dealing with anger, resistance, and pessimism looks like as an intuitive thought leader, because when we are walking in the path of inner peace, these things look different. We show up to these moments differently than when we are here being in the streets and not caring. It's a different energy. It's a different vibe. Then I'm going to share with you 3 ways dealing with anger, resistance, and pessimism has made my life 1,000 times better. You know I love to share this with you because I want you to see what's possible, babes. And I'm going to give you the bonus, which is the best way that you can deal with anger and resistance and pessimism in your life as you are up-leveling your inner peace, as you are, it's more of an expansion. And you are expanding into that energy of inner peace in your life so that you can do it with ease and with flow. Now, before I jump into these gems, I want to talk to those of you that are ready for the next step, because I know that there are some of you watching who desire to take the next step with me, who know that I am the mentor for you. Below this video, there is a link to apply for an authenticity audit with me. These authenticity audits are for those of you that are intuitive leaders that are ready to, number one, trust your intuition like never before at a completely deeper level. You are ready to face your triggers with calm, no matter what's going on, which you know as an intuitive, it is a really important part of the process of inner peace. And you are ready to nourish your body, but nourish the body with compassion and discipline, because both of those things are required for us to show up authentically and powerfully in our lives. It's for those of you that are ready to release borrowed beliefs that are no longer serving you, that are no longer in alignment with you. And those of you that desire to build relationships that are loving, that are healthy, and are overflowing with joy with the people in your life, even complete strangers you can have these relationships with. Now, if this is you, if I'm talking to you, and if you're serious about it, if you're serious about showing up as the most authentic version of yourself, as the most empowered version of yourself, being the best version of you, no matter what's going on, prioritizing yourself, If that is you, click on the link in the description box below and apply for one of these authenticity audits, because they're going to transform your life. And I want to be able to be there with you to walk you through this transformation so you can see what's possible and what really is on the other side of living your life like this. So click on that link below and let's co-create some magic, my love. Okay. I want to tell you the story for today. I really have been enjoying sharing these stories with you. They are uncomfortable to share, and at the same time, it's getting less and less uncomfortable and more joyful the more we talk about it and the more we move through this series. So, this is actually a good one. Let me tell you something. Being with a partner who is also healing, who's committed to being the best version of themselves, who is committed to showing up authentically, can be a very, matter of fact, I'm not even gonna say can be. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I'm gonna tell you what's been for me, what's been true for me. It's been a very triggering experience. It is very triggering to be with a partner that is on the path to inner peace and that's focused on loving themselves, on prioritizing themselves, and showing up powerfully in the world. It is a very triggering experience because what it triggers within us is all the things within ourselves that we have not allowed ourselves to experience, all the things around ourselves that we have been hiding from. That person mirrors that shit back to you. And when they mirror back to you, you're going to be triggered within you if you have anything that you haven't addressed that they are helping you bring to the surface. And in that moment, it can feel really real when they're doing that. And that's a moment that I want to share with you right now. So for my 32nd birthday, was it my 32nd birthday? I believe it was my 32nd birthday. My 32nd birthday, I believe. We were living in St. Petersburg, Florida at the time. And this is after JP and I left DC and we moved to follow our dreams and do this whole thing, live life on our own terms. And we moved to St. Petersburg, Florida, like I shared before in this series earlier. And we didn't know many people. We knew two people that were not there all the time, but they would kind of like come in and out. They were from the area, so they would like be traveling most of the time. But we didn't really know many people. So when my birthday rolled around, I had this expectations on JP, who was the only person that I knew and pretty much the closest person to me in that space. And birthdays are a big deal to me. I love birthdays. It is a day where I literally take the day off and receive all the love that comes my way. It's my favorite part of my birthday is being able to talk to my friends, catch up with them, see what they've been up to. I will talk to my friends for hours on my birthday. It's the way I enjoy to celebrate it. But that's now. When JP and I were in St. Pete, I was having expectations that he was going to do something major for my birthday. It was actually my 31st birthday because the year prior, he had put this whole get together with our friends, and he got balloons and a cake. It was like a whole ordeal. So I'm thinking he gonna bring that same energy to this birthday. And let me tell y'all something, he did not. And what ended up happening was that day, what stands out for me is that during that day, JP did not sing me happy birthday. He said happy birthday to me. We went to dinner and had a birthday moment there. He didn't sing happy birthday to me. And in that moment, y'all, it really fucking stretched me. Because I realized how attached I was to that. How important it was for him to do something to help me feel special on my day. My day. Even saying that, my day. And this is the number one reason why dealing with things like anger, resistance, and pessimism is non-negotiable for me. Because we don't realize how attached we are to certain situations until emotions like anger, into emotions like energy like resistance and pessimism shows up. Because when he did not sing me happy birthday, y'all, I was in my bag. I was in my emo bag, heavy. I was very upset, because I felt that it was his responsibility to do that. So I got really angry with him because he did not meet that expectation. We're going to do a whole episode on expectations. He did not meet my expectations. And then I was feeling a lot of resistance to saying that, to being open about how I was feeling, to being transparent about what I had going on. And then I got really pessimistic about our partnership because I'm like, you're supposed to be out here celebrating me and you won't even sing me happy birthday. Like, what the fuck is going on in here? So you see how that thread begins to form? That's why this is a non-negotiable, because when that happens, we aren't seeing things clearly. And the number reason why it's important to deal with emotions and things like anger, resistance, and pessimism is because it allows us to see things clearly and to be able to see what really is happening in the situation. To see that this is actually an attachment that he's showing me that I have versus getting caught up in the messenger, which is definitely what I was doing. It is 1,000% what I was doing. And when you are aware of this, you notice that you got to look at these things. You got to be willing to see, okay, am I angry? What am I angry about? Am I resisting? What am I resisting? Am I being pessimistic about my life? Because we're going to experience out here what we create in here. So it's very important that you are aware of how that's unfolding and what's going on. Number 2, what dealing with anger and resistance and pessimism looks like for me as a thought leader in the path to inner peace. Okay. So this has really looked like shifting from avoidance to facing. It has looked like going from, I'm avoiding this because I don't want to be uncomfortable, I don't want to feel quote unquote bad, to I am allowing myself to experience this because I see here that there is a lot of joy. There's a lot of opportunity for me to grow and learn. And this is different than what it looked like before, because before I would have been avoiding it. Before I would have been mad and I would have held a grudge, and I would have held that grudge for quite a while. And I would have felt very justified in holding that grudge because of all the reasons. I'm here and we only 2 people here and you my man, you're supposed to be celebrating me, and go on 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 and go on. So it really has looked like me being willing to learn from those moments instead of thinking that those moments are a punishment or something that shouldn't quote unquote be happening. And it has to look like me being willing to let go of some beliefs that I have attached myself to when those moments show up. Because when that first happened, I had a lot of anger and I was very upset at him. That's what I had learned. So I was moving out of that pattern. I was moving out of that energy. And that's what it means to be in that space when you are in inner peace. You learn from those moments and you learn about what you have learned, and then you choose to do things differently. That's what the difference is now that I am grounded in my inner guidance. Now that I'm grounded in the path to inner peace, I'm learning from these moments. When there's resistance, I'm learning from the resistance. When there's pessimism, I'm learning from the pessimism. I'm transmuting that pessimism into enthusiasm. I'm shifting that resistance into flow and ease. I'm transmuting that anger into acceptance and appreciation. That's what it looks like when I'm in the path to inner peace. It's a different energy than I'm avoiding this. I'm going to pretend that it's not happening. It doesn't exist. So let's talk about how that's made things better for me, because it's a great transition. Especially because emotions like anger, the energy of resistance, the energy of pessimism, is kind of heavy, y'all. Has that been your experience? What has been your experience journey in this emotions? What has been your experience with anger, with pessimism, with resistance? Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it. I want to hear from you as to how you are moving through these things. Here's how this has made my life better. Let's go on the birthday. So the number one way in which experiencing those emotions and dealing with them has made my life 1,000 times better is I'm able to have a more honest partnership with my husband. When JP said that, he didn't say it. When JP did not sing happy birthday for me, it was a very triggering situation. I told you, being with a partner that's healing is a very triggering energy. Like, you got to be ready for that. And one thing that happened as a result of that, though, is that he triggered the anger first, and then the resistance, and then the pessimism. And then when I chose to look at what was going on, because she on that inner peace energy, I was able to see that there was also an opportunity for me. And the opportunity that was there for me was the opportunity to show up to myself. It's my birthday. It's up to me to make it amazing. It's up to me to show up to myself on my day. It's not something that he's responsible for. It's something that I get to be accountable for. I get to do that. I get to celebrate myself on this day that matters so much to me, that I've given all this meaning to. And because of that, I took that responsibility from JP and I put it on myself. And since that, every birthday after that has been amazing to me, whether he has done something with it or not. And it's because I've taken that expectation from him, and I've decided I'm going to look out for me on my birthday. And it's going to be amazing because I make that decision. And as a result of that, I don't be pressed. And it's a lot more joyful for him and I to communicate because I take that same energy into other areas of our lives, into other areas of our partnership. And it works. It works so wonderfully. And this is why I love dealing with these things, because when you see them, at first you're like, ew, get this away from me, unsubscribe. And then you get deeper and then you begin to see that there's a lot of joy here. The second way that it has helped me is releasing grudges. I used to be the type of person that was like, I'm going to hold a grudge. I'm going to hold a grudge. I'm going to keep the receipt. I'm going to look like on March 13th, 2008 at 11 p.m. Eastern, this is what you said. That's the person I used to be. And it was a very exhausted way of being because you constantly have to keep tabs. You got to be ready to go off. That takes energy. And because I've been able to deal with those emotions like anger and resistance and pessimism, and I'm able to learn from them and see them differently, I'm able to release the desire to hold those grudges. I'm able to release the desire to keep a screenshot. I used to love keeping a screenshot. I'm able to release the desire to police. And I'm able to be in the now with joy and meet people where they are more joyfully. And that, being an intuitive leader, that's really important because all we have is the now. So if we're worried about trying to police people and control other people, we're not in our lives. We're not giving ourselves space to enjoy our lives. And my life is so much more joyful because I choose to face those parts of myself and I choose to move beyond them and do it with ease and with flow. The third way that it has made my life better, it has helped me really see parts of myself with a love that before I would reject. A lot of my journey of inner peace has been about me seeing myself, seeing the parts of me that I don't like and allowing those parts to coexist and then loving on those parts and learning from those parts. That's a lot of inner peace. It's that process. And by allowing myself to experience these emotions that feel really dense and heavy and uncomfortable, I am able to create space. I'm creating space for the joy. I'm creating space for the flow. I'm creating space for the calm. I'm creating space for taking my time. And that's where inner peace comes from. That's the breathing ground where inner peace thrives, because those are the conditions that is required. So it's been really wonderful to do this. It's an uncomfortable thing too. Don't get me wrong. I want to be clear with that. And at the same time, it's been beautiful and it's absolutely worth it. So I'm going to give you a bonus. So drop a sunflower for me if you want the bonus. Before I give you this bonus, I have a question for you. Get some water. How would you like to have my one-on-one support as you live your life joyfully and peacefully? Would you like that? Would that bring you joy? In the description below this video, there is a link to book an authenticity audit. And these authenticity audits are actually valued at $1,500. You can actually purchase one of them. If you absolutely want to have one, you can purchase one in the comments, in the description box below. At the same time, if you are not ready to purchase one, you desire to explore us working together though, I want to invite you to apply for one of these authenticity audits. This is for those of you that are intuitive leaders, because you're going to get the most out of this. I'm an intuitive leader. I'm really familiar with what this journey is like for us. I've been doing it for 13 years. This is what I know that I can support you because I've been here. I lead other leaders doing this, and I know what's possible. I know where we are when we come into this energy, and I know how we can move it, expand it in a way that is in alignment. And it usually looks like helping you be in a position where you're trusting your intuition at a deeper level. You are reprogramming and deprogramming the mind with compassion. You are nourishing your body with self-discipline and self-trust. And you are building relationships with people from a space of unconditional love and not hate. We're going to talk for 45 minutes. And in those 45 minutes, we're going to map out the most joyful path to you dissolving any blockages and embracing that energy of love and inner peace in your life in the next 30 to 60 days with ease and with flow. And it's going to be a whole vibe. Everything that you're going to need to become and to be a more joyful version of yourself, to be a more expanded version of yourself as you step into your next level, enjoying the journey as much as you enjoy the destination. So if you want to work with me and you are serious about being the most authentic version of yourself and you desire to do it and to live life overflowing with inner peace in all areas of your life, I encourage you to apply for one of these authenticity audits because they are transformational and they will be transformational for you specifically. Okay? I have 3 for this week, I believe. Yeah, I have 3 for this week. To apply, click in the description box below and let's co-create some magic in your life, mis amores. You ready for this bonus? So, the best way to deal with anger, resistance, and pessimism in a way that aligns you with the path of inner peace and doing it with ease and calm, because that's the thing about this process. It can be done with ease and with calm. The best way to do that is to anchor in the energy of acceptance, is to accept them. Accept that they are present for you. That was a big thing that I was resisting. I was resisting accepting that I was even feeling these things. I was so disconnected from how to journey them and how to process them that I was pretending they didn't exist. And you cannot heal what you don't reveal. You gotta be willing to see it so that you can do something about it. It's just how these things work. And when I began accepting it, things began to change, because the moment I accepted, I acknowledged it first, like we talked about in the previous video number 13, then I gave myself space to accept it, right? So I started to accept these things about me. And then learn as much about yourself as possible. Accept that these emotions, these energies are present, and then learn from them as much as you possibly can. Please learn from them, because that's really where the meat is. It's in the learning. And then when you're learning from yourself, apply it. You got to close the loop. Apply it. You learn, you accept, you acknowledge it, you accept it, you learn from it, and then you apply it. You got to keep that going, because when you apply the things that you're learning, you can really see what the power is. You can really experience the magic. Everything I share with you here, take what I share with you and apply it. Because when you apply it, your life begins to transform. Most people, they don't apply things. And that's why they don't see the transformation. That's why it doesn't stay for a long time. That's why it's not a lifestyle for them. They don't apply it. And when you apply what you learn from yourself, man, your life, it just fucking moves different. You move different. Your energy different. Because you are in resonance. You are in alignment. And that's the best way to do this, is to accept that these emotions and energies are present for us and learn from them as much as possible and apply what we learn to make our lives be further aligned with who we desire to be. Easy peasy. In the next video, first of all, did that serve you? Did that serve you? How do you approach dealing with things like anger, resistance, and pessimism? Let me know in the comments below. Like, what's your energy with that? What did you do? What's your vibe? Are you accepting it? Do you learn from it? Do you apply what you learn? Or are you taking a completely different approach? Let me know in the comments. I definitely want to hear from you. In the next video, though, I'm going to be talking to you about how to process emotions, because I just shared with you 3 really big energies that are present for us. So I want you to be equipped to process these things. And we're going to do that in the next video. So make sure that you join us, because I'm going to walk you through my method to process emotions so that I can be and I can stay in that energy of inner peace no matter what's going on in my life, with myself and with other people. For those of you that are submitting your applications for the authenticity audits, I'm looking forward to seeing you on the other side. Get ready to be transformed, because it's going to be amazing. My name is Yanori Pouncil. I am the guiding light, the spiritual teacher to intuitive leaders that are prioritizing themselves, leaders that are being the most authentic version of who they are. They are trusting their intuition. They are overflowing with inner peace, and they are enjoying the journey as much as the destination every single step of the way. And I'm here to make sure that you see things clearly, mis amores. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, you are a fucking vibe. You are a whole vibe. Remember that. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hasta luego, mis amores.